Love is, without a doubt, one of the most explored themes in human history. From poems and songs to movies and books, it is portrayed as a powerful force capable of transforming lives and overcoming any obstacle. But is love really all we need? Or could the idealized vision we have of it lead to unrealistic expectations and, at times, inevitable disappointments? In this content, we will explore the many facets of love, from the influence of romanticism on our ideas about relationships to the practical challenges love faces in everyday life. We'll discuss the role of sacrifice, the complexity of balancing emotion and reason, and, finally, reflect on the paradox that sometimes the greatest act of love is knowing when to let go. Get ready for a journey that goes beyond romantic diving into a deep and practical analysis of what it truly means to love. After all, love is not just a feeling. It's a choice, a commitment, and, above all, an opportunity for mutual growth. Love at its core is often romanticized as a force capable of overcoming any obstacle. But let's pause for a moment. Doesn't that sound a little too idealistic? Life is messy, unpredictable, and full of twists that no one can foresee. Imagine a couple deeply in love, yet struggling to navigate the challenges of raising children from previous relationships. The love is there, no doubt, but the obstacles, they're real, and they demand more than just affection to overcome. It's in these moments that love begins to reveal its complexity, blending emotions with the harsh realities of life. Think about it. Love isn't just about candlelit dinners and whispered promises. It's also about navigating the chaos of life together, whether it's financial struggles, cultural differences, or even mental health challenges. For instance, a couple from two vastly different cultural backgrounds might find themselves clashing over traditions or family expectations. Does this mean their love is any less valid? Not at all. It simply means that love, while powerful, doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's shaped and tested by the world around it. And yet, there's something undeniably beautiful about love that persists despite the odds. It's in the way partners choose to stay, even when the road gets bumpy. It's in the sacrifices made, the compromises reached, and the resilience built along the way. But here's the thing. Does love alone have the strength to carry the weight of every obstacle? Or is there something more that's needed to truly thrive in a relationship? There's a deeply ingrained belief that true love can conquer anything. It's the stuff of fairy tales, romantic movies, and timeless poetry. But let's take a closer look. Does this idea hold up in real life? Many people cling to the notion that if love is genuine, it will naturally overcome any difficulty, no matter how insurmountable it seems. For example, a couple facing long-distance separation might believe that their love alone will bridge the gap. While this belief can be inspiring, it also raises a critical question. Is love enough, or does it need the support of practical efforts and shared goals? The Romanticism movement, with its idealized view of love, has deeply influenced this perspective. It paints love as an unstoppable force, one that transcends logic, practicality, and even human limitations. Think of the grand gestures we've all seen in stories. Lovers defying family, society, or even geography to be together. It's a beautiful idea, isn't it? But in real life, love often requires more than just passion. It demands patience, understanding, and, sometimes, the willingness to admit that not every challenge can be solved with emotion alone. Still, there's something undeniably magnetic about the belief in love's invincibility. It gives people hope, fuels their resilience, and inspires them to fight for their relationships. But what happens when the challenges become too great? When love meets the immovable wall of life's realities, does it bend, break, or evolve? Romanticism has long championed the idea that true love knows no barriers. It's a philosophy that elevates love to a near-mythical status, portraying it as pure, unshakable, and capable of defying even the harshest realities. Think of the classic tales where lovers overcome impossible odds. Whether it's Romeo and Juliet's defiance of family feuds or the countless stories of forbidden love that end in triumph or tragedy, Romanticism tells us that love isn't just an emotion, it's a force of nature, one that can't be contained by logic or practicality. But here's the catch. This idealized view of love often ignores the messy, complicated realities of life. Romanticism tends to detach love from the practicalities that shape relationships. Things like shared responsibilities, financial stability, or even basic compatibility. For instance, a couple might feel an intense emotional connection, but struggle to align their long-term goals or values. Romanticism would argue that love alone should be enough to overcome these differences. But is that truly realistic? Or does it set people up for disappointment when love collides with life's inevitable challenges? Still, the allure of this perspective is undeniable. It's comforting to believe that love can transcend all barriers, that it can exist in its purest form, untouched by the mundane concerns of daily life. And for many, this belief provides the strength to persevere through difficulties. But as we'll see, even the most passionate love stories are not immune to the weight of practical realities. So, how do we reconcile this ideal with the challenges that real relationships face? Romanticism has left an indelible mark on how we perceive love, shaping it into something almost sacred. This movement, which emerged in the late 18th century, glorified passion, emotion, and the idea of love as an all-consuming force. It taught us to see love as the ultimate purpose, a connection so profound that it could transcend time, space, and even reason. But here's the thing. This idealized version of love often clashes with the realities of modern relationships. After all, how many of us have been swept up in the idea of a soulmate, only to find that love isn't always as effortless as the poets promised? One of Romanticism's most enduring legacies is its tendency to separate love from practicality. It encourages us to believe that love should be pure and untainted by the mundane concerns of life, money, careers, or even personal growth. For example, think of the countless stories where lovers abandon everything for the sake of being together, as if love alone can sustain them. While this notion is undeniably beautiful, it can also be misleading. Real love often requires compromise, shared effort, and a willingness to navigate life's challenges as a team. And yet, Romanticism's influence isn't entirely misplaced. It reminds us of the beauty and intensity of love, of its ability to inspire and transform us. But it also raises an important question. Can we hold on to this ideal without losing sight of the practical realities that shape our lives? Perhaps the key lies in finding a balance, honoring the passion and emotion that Romanticism celebrates, while embracing the grounded, practical elements that make love sustainable. The ideology of absolute love, often rooted in Romanticism, paints a picture of love as something untouchable by the practicalities of life. It's the kind of love that exists in poetry and grand gestures, where emotions reign supreme and logic takes a back seat. This perspective suggests that love, in its purest form, should be free from the constraints of daily life. No bills to pay, no schedules to juggle, no compromises to make. But is this vision of love truly sustainable, or is it more of a dream than a reality? In real life, love doesn't exist in isolation. It's intertwined with the responsibilities and challenges of everyday living. For instance, a couple might share a deep emotional bond, but struggle to manage financial stress or conflicting career goals. The ideology of absolute love would argue that these concerns shouldn't matter, that love should rise above them. But ignoring these practicalities can lead to frustration, resentment, and even the breakdown of a relationship. After all, love may be powerful, but it's not a magic wand that makes life's challenges disappear. Still, there's something undeniably appealing about this ideal. It speaks to the part of us that craves a connection so deep, so pure, that it feels untouchable by the outside world. But as we'll see, even the most passionate love requires a foundation of mutual understanding and shared effort to thrive. So, how do we reconcile this lofty vision of love with the realities of life? Perhaps the answer lies in the sacrifices we're willing to make for the ones we love. D.H. Lawrence once wrote about the profound nature of love, describing it as a force that demands complete sacrifice. To him, love wasn't just about joy or companionship. It was about surrendering a part of oneself for the sake of another. Imagine a parent giving up their dream job to stay closer to their child, or a partner choosing to relocate to a new city to support their loved one's career. These acts of sacrifice, while challenging, are often seen as the ultimate expression of love. But here's the question: is sacrifice always noble, or can it sometimes lead to unintended harm? Sacrifice, as Lawrence described, is a double-edged sword. On one hand, it reflects generosity, altruism, and a willingness to prioritize someone else's happiness. But on the other, it can lead to resentment or a loss of identity, if the sacrifice isn't mutual or balanced. For instance, a person who constantly puts their partner's needs above their own might begin to feel invisible or unappreciated. This raises an important point. True love doesn't just demand sacrifice. It requires that both partners feel valued and supported in the process. And yet, there's something undeniably beautiful about the idea of giving for love. It's a reminder that love isn't just about receiving. It's about what we're willing to offer, even when it's hard. But how do we know when a sacrifice is too much, when it crosses the line from love to self or neglect? Perhaps the answer lies in understanding the practical challenges that love often faces, and how they shape the sacrifices we make. Love, no matter how profound, doesn't exist in a vacuum. It's constantly tested by the practical challenges of life. Challenges that can either strengthen a relationship or expose its vulnerabilities. For instance, raising children from previous relationships can bring joy but also tension, as partners navigate different parenting styles and expectations. Similarly, financial struggles can weigh heavily on a couple, turning even the simplest decisions into sources of stress. These obstacles remind us that love isn't just about emotions. It's about how we handle life's complexities together. Cultural differences are another hurdle that many couples face. Imagine two people from vastly different backgrounds trying to merge their traditions, values, and even cuisines. While this can be enriching, it can also lead to misunderstandings or conflicts. And then there's the challenge of physical distance. Long-distance relationships test patience, trust, and communication in ways that few other situations do. These examples show that love, while powerful, often needs the support of empathy, resilience, and practical strategies to thrive. Mental health struggles, divergent life goals, and even health issues can further complicate relationships. A partner dealing with anxiety or depression might need extra support, while the other learns to balance care with their own well-being. And when values or objectives don't align, love can feel like a tug-of-war between personal desires and shared dreams. But here's the thing, these challenges, as daunting as they seem, also offer opportunities for growth. So, how do we approach love in a way that acknowledges these realities without losing its magic? Love doesn't have to be an all-or-nothing gamble. A more balanced philosophy suggests that love thrives when emotion and practicality work hand in hand. This perspective doesn't diminish the beauty of love. Instead, it grounds it in reality, making it more sustainable. For example, a couple facing financial struggles might choose to create a budget together, turning a potential source of conflict into an opportunity for teamwork. This approach doesn't strip love of its magic. It simply ensures that the magic has a solid foundation to stand on. Recognizing the limits imposed by external factors doesn't mean giving up on love. It means respecting its boundaries. Imagine two people deeply in love but living in different countries. Instead of clinging to the idea that love alone will solve the distance, they might explore practical solutions like setting a timeline for visits or even relocating. This isn't about compromising love. It's about making it work in the real world. After all, love isn't just about grand gestures. It's also about the small, thoughtful actions that keep a relationship alive. This practical view of love also emphasizes mutual respect and shared effort. It asks us to consider not just what we feel, but how we act on those feelings. Are we supporting our partner's goals while pursuing our own? Are we addressing challenges as a team? These questions remind us that love isn't just an emotion. It's a choice we make every day. But how do we balance this practicality with the deep emotional connection that makes love so special? At its heart, love is about care and well-being. Not just for ourselves, but for the person we hold dear. It's easy to get swept up in the idea that love is about passion or personal fulfillment. But true love asks deeper questions. Are we helping our partner grow? Are we contributing to their happiness? Or are we unintentionally adding to their suffering? For instance, if our presence in someone's life causes them stress or pain, is it still love? These are tough questions, but they're essential for building relationships that truly nurture both people involved. Love isn't just about what we take, it's about what we give. But here's the catch. It's not about giving to the point of self-destruction. Healthy love is rooted in balance, where both partners feel supported and valued. Imagine a relationship where one person sacrifices their dreams while the other thrives. Over time, this imbalance can lead to resentment, even if the intentions were good. True love, then, isn't about losing yourself for someone else. It's about creating a space where both people can flourish together. This perspective challenges us to rethink what love really means. Is it about satisfying our own desires, or is it about creating a partnership that uplifts and empowers? It's not always an easy balance to strike, but it's one worth striving for. After all, love is most powerful when it's a source of mutual growth and joy. But what happens when love requires sacrifice? How do we know when to give and when to hold back? Sacrifice is one of love's most profound yet misunderstood aspects. It's often seen as the ultimate proof of devotion, but not all sacrifices are created equal. Some are rooted in generosity and empathy, while others mask hidden agendas or unspoken expectations. For example, a partner might give up a career opportunity to support their loved one, but if this act is done with resentment or the hope of future repayment, it ceases to be genuine. True sacrifice in love comes from a place of altruism, not obligation or manipulation. On the other hand, there are those who sacrifice their own desires purely for the well-being of their partner. Think of someone who steps back from a dream job to care for a spouse facing health challenges. These acts of selflessness can be beautiful, but they also come with risks. If one partner consistently sacrifices without receiving support in return, it can lead to burnout or a loss of identity. Love, after all, should be a two-way street, a balance of giving and receiving that nurtures both individuals. The paradox of sacrifice is that it can either strengthen or strain a relationship, depending on its intent and impact. It forces us to ask tough questions. Are we giving out of love, or are we losing ourselves in the process? And how do we ensure that our sacrifices don't lead to resentment or imbalance? These questions bring us to an even deeper dilemma. The idea that sometimes the greatest act of love is knowing when to let go. The idea of walking away from someone you love feels counterintuitive, doesn't it? Yet, it's one of the most profound paradoxes of love. Sometimes, the greatest act of love is letting go. Not because you don't care, but because staying might cause more harm than good. Imagine a relationship where one partner's presence unintentionally stifles the other's growth. Perhaps their goals no longer align, or the emotional strain has become too heavy to bear. In these moments, love asks an impossible question. Can you love someone enough to step aside for their happiness? This paradox challenges the traditional notion that love always means holding on. It requires immense empathy and self-awareness to recognize when your presence might be causing more suffering than joy. For instance, a couple deeply in love might realize that their differences, be it in values, life goals, or emotional needs, are creating a cycle of pain. Choosing to walk away in such a situation isn't a sign of failure. It's a testament to the depth of their love and their willingness to prioritize each other's well-being. But make no mistake, this kind of love is anything but easy. It demands sacrifice, resilience, and a deep understanding of what it means to truly care for someone. Walking away doesn't mean the love disappears. It means you're choosing to honor it in a different way. And yet, it leaves us with one final question. How do we reconcile the pain of letting go with the hope of a brighter future for both people involved? Perhaps the answer lies in understanding that love, at its core, is about wanting the best for someone, even if it means you're not part of their journey. As we've explored, love is so much more than a fleeting emotion or a romantic ideal. It's built in the everyday moments, in the choices we make, in the sacrifices we decide to embrace or not, and in how we balance emotion with reason. But now the real question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Are you living a love that truly helps you grow? Or are you stuck in unrealistic expectations that only bring frustration? Are you putting effort and care into your relationships, or are you waiting for love to magically solve everything? And most importantly, are you willing to change the way you love to build healthier, more balanced relationships? Change starts with small actions. What can you do today to improve your relationship with yourself and with others? Share in the comments. What was the biggest insight you gained from this video? Or, if you prefer, tell us about a challenge you're facing in love. Let's build a community of support and learning together. If this content helped you, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you can keep learning about mental health, relationships, and how to live a more fulfilling life. Don't forget to share this video with someone who needs to hear this message. After all, love is a journey, and the more people who walk it with us, the better the path will be.